When legend becomes fact, print the legend. That is not to say that the facts have changed, only that the legend has become fact. This statement is from John Wayne's The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. The movie was taken place in the Wild West, where barter was king, and the trading that occurred was put on the tab. Western law ruled, or the thinking that only the rules and the laws that could be governed by a duel to the death were those that set precedents. The Wild West was a completely different environment from what we have now, and the counting standards have changed dramatically since then. But that does not take away from the fact that this movie offers how unethical behavior shaped the West, and how unethical behavior does not only impact a business and stakeholders, but can change the course of history forever. The major unethical dilemma that the movie addressed was the fight between statehood. Whether it was between the ranchers who wanted to keep the territory a territory so that they could keep free range, or the farmers who wanted to become a state so that they could have more law and order, more regulations, and be able to enclose their lands. By being able to close their lands, they would be able to have the ranchers have to gather their own land so that they would have to feed their cows on land that they owned, which would increase the cost that the ranchers had and would also increase the work that the ranchers would have to work on. There's always going to be new regulations and laws, just as there were then. And there's going to be parties that oppose them and parties that favor them. And businesses are going to favor the laws that benefit them and are going to oppose any laws and regulations that affect them negatively. However, present-day fights do not seem to have the bloodshed that Western law brought about with it. In Liberty Vallance, the battle for statehood ended up with a duel to the death. One man was going to die, and Liberty Vallance had challenged Ransom Stoddard in order that he could become the delegate to fight for territorial control and keeping the territory a territory instead of statehood. That night, as Ransom Stoddard went to a duel with Liberty, Rance was shot in the arm, and as Liberty went to shoot Rance in the head and finish him off, Rance's gun went off and Liberty fell to his death. Rance was held as the man who shot Liberty Vallance and became the state delegate to go to Washington to fight for statehood, and became the first state governor as well as a state senator. He was also able to marry Miss Hallie and to live happily ever after. At the end of the movie, a train conductor tells Rance Stoddard that nothing is too good for the man who shot Liberty Valance. This statement brings back with it into consideration that Rance had in fact lived a life that had been a lie since Liberty had been shot. He had not lied about killing Liberty. He did not tell anybody that he killed Liberty Valance. But he did not tell the truth about who did. Tom Donovan, a local rancher, had actually shot and killed Liberty so that he could protect Rance. Tom Donovan had fallen in love with Hallie and was going to marry her, and had given up his ability to be a state delegate in order to marry her. And yet, Hallie went to Rance instead of Tom Donovan because of his love, and because Rance had shot and killed Liberty Valance, or so she believed. Tom Donovan's life had been changed all because he had shot and killed Liberty Valance and let Rance get all the credit for it. So unethical behavior, if it is not addressed and is not told the truth, can impact everybody. When Rance tried to tell the true story to the newspaper man would not record the facts, but rather chose to print the legend. Accounting standards may have changed since Wild West, but individuals still encounter ethical dilemmas. And these ethical dilemmas may not seem to impact anybody but stakeholders and a company, but can in fact change the course of history. And in the West, when legend becomes fact, we still choose to print the legend.